Hey y'all, this is Audra Hicks, your Tennessee Realtor. I wanted to go over things that y'all might want to know on closing day. So please hit the subscribe button and stay tuned because I put the real in real estate. So it's closing day. Now what? There's a lot that happens all the way up until closing, and that your real estate agent usually is making sure that it's going to get done. Before closing, the seller and buyer need to make sure utilities are going to be cut off and on at certain whatever day that they come up with. Usually it's closing day, sometimes the day after. It just depends. So on closing day, I, as an agent, am their concierge for life during the process, after, and beyond. So, and I'm a micromanager too. I do have a transaction coordinator because in my brokerage, we get assigned one. I have my special one that is usually on all of my things, looking through my contracts, doing all of that, sending out things. But I also do that as well. We call them a client success coordinator in my brokerage, and it helps take the load off of the agent because some of us are very busy, and that way you don't forget anything. But I've always been organized on that, paperwork Nazi, and a micromanager. So I used to think, what is a transaction coordinator going to do for me? But I've enjoyed having one, and I love mine. That's my personal one, and the company and everything. So they will always send out reminders, things that my clients need to do, which I do as well, so they can't say that I never got anything. So, and then I'm always texting and calling and all of that. But leading up to closing day, there's a lot that's involved. We need to make sure if it's a buyer, if I have the buyer, make sure that their lending is on track. Just closed one where I helped my seller sell her house. We had 15 days to close on the sale of the home, so we had to go out the next day. We found the one, and we got it under contract. The lender that she decided to go with was able to get everything done within 8 days from start to finish in a rush. And we had clear to close 2 days ahead of time. All docs were at the title company waiting, money, everything. So we were good there. And then on the sale side, on the listing side where I listed her home, we both of us, we were able to simultaneously close. So at closing day, we set up closing to where we sold a house, and then right after we get done, we buy a house. So once we're closed, we are closed. The other side, now here in Tennessee, we do split closings where on like our listing side and our buy side, we're the same title company. I usually use Bell Law Settlement Services, so we closed both of those with the same title company. Now the other side, on the listing side, that buyer had their own title company that they used, so they would go close at that title company. On her buy side, that seller would have their own title company. So here's my title company over here doing both of ours here, and they're having to work with not only our sales side and our buy side, and both of the other title companies as well. And they all have to balance settlement statements, do all of that. But also, they have to deal with my buyer's lender. So they have to be able to get everything they need from the lender, and they have to balance with them as well. So once that's done, the settlement statement or ALTA is usually always sent to the agent to look over it, make sure it's right, make sure, do we have certain charges correct? Is there something being charged to my client that shouldn't be? Or is there something that needs to be put in there? You know, sometimes you'll find out, and like I'll go through it and make sure that it's in line with our contract. If there's a home warranty that needs to be paid for by the seller, we need to make sure that's in there, things like that. So I order that ahead of time so that it is all good and ready at closing. So, you know, everything takes over on closing day. So most of the time we can do the final walkthrough the day before or a few days before, and do all of that. And then also I'll take the key with me so that I can give that to my client at closing time. Some sellers do not want you to do that until they receive their funding. But really, when it is all closed on both sides, it's done. Behind the scenes, there's just a lot of things going on. You know, lender, they have to get funds from the lender. Usually that's done by the time closing day is there. They're waiting on different things. They swap docs from each title company. There's a lot involved in closing. Now, when you're selling a home, you have, I think I've said this in another previous video, you have a little bit of paperwork. When you buy, then you have a lot of paperwork, especially if you are getting a loan for it. So, you know, you're going to be at closing probably about an hour, maybe a little less, depending on how long it takes you to get through the process. So, and I'm there at closing, all of my clients' closings, unless they're moved out of state or something, and we have to do a mobile notary or things like that. So there's a lot of behind the scenes things that take place at closing and a little bit after closing as well. So I just wanted to kind of give y'all an idea of things that happen. HGTV always, you know, portrays agents as, you know, just showing homes and living the life of luxury and selling homes and, you know, buying expensive things like that. That is not the way it goes in real estate, and it's not easy. So you are dealing with your client's emotional side because they are buying, that's their largest purchase, you know. So you have to know how to deal with people, you know, be able to, you know, do things and get them to the end. And, you know, if things come up, you need to know how to work through those. And, you know, sometimes it's not easy. You know, sometimes it's frustrating for everybody involved. But I love what I do. I'm blessed with great clients, usually. And clients that have reused me, referred me to their friends and family, and then, you know, I end up with their kiddos too, usually. So I love that, and it makes my heart happy. So just wanted to give y'all a little bit of insight of closing day. There's a lot more involved, but that's a brief snippet of it. So if y'all like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, y'all.